Hello everyone, my name is Dan. I've decided to start sharing all my lessons learned as I've worked on my house throughout the years. Today what I'm going to show you is how to remove border. The border that's on now is a paper border over paper wallpaper. Nothing's harder than taking off border, or at least that's how I understand what everybody's told me. So what I want to share with you is what I've learned. First, you can get on the web and everybody says so many different things about which product to use to clean it off. The reason why some work and some don't is because it's different types of glues, or at least that's how a chemical engineer told me, and I try to find out as much as possible. So anyways, I've been able to find a product that works great for me, and I'm sure that vinegar and water would work. I'm sure that softener and water would work, and then there's other products you can buy at your local hardware stores. The product I'm using, I'm not going to promote another product unless if they authorize it, and probably fund a little bit would be nice. But anyways, I'm not going to tell you what product it is, but I will tell you that it will take a chomp off of getting off the wallpaper. Did you catch that? Chomp. Now there's more to it than that. And it kind of has an orange label, but I'm not getting any farther than that. And you can buy it at your local hardware store or a big warehouse hardware store. Boy, isn't that giving it away. Anyways, so I'm using that product. So let's go back to what I was talking about with a paper border over the paper wallpaper. Commonly they say take the little thingy, you grab and you spin it all around, it creates all little holes. Well, the problem with that is it digs into both the border and the wallpaper below. So when you spray on something that would chomp at it and break down the glue, it also breaks down the glue that's on the wallpaper. And our goal is not to do that. So what I've done, and I've researched, and nobody else has ever told me, but I just thought of it. It makes logical sense to me. All I need to do is get into the backing of the border. Well, the border, after it's been printed, it's sealed. And this is paper. I did a vinyl one in the kitchen. I'll show you that on the next part. The paper border needed to be broke down the top layer. So I went and got my sander, and I tried using 60 grit paper first, and I thought it was going to be too rough. It actually works perfect. So what I'm going to show you now is what it looks like with just the 60 grit wallpaper, and I've already sanded some, and I'll show you some that I haven't. So hold still, and we'll do that. First, I decided to let you see what the border looked like prior. So here's the border, and that's the paper border on the paper wallpaper. And this is what it looks like after. Now, if you get real close here, you can see on the edges, I got really close to the edges, and you can see I kind of nicked it up a little bit. If you stay too long right on the edge, you may get through, as well as I have a couple spots where I actually broke through a little too far than I should have. Well, that's going to require a little bit of touch-up afterwards, either with paint or additional wallpaper. So all I did is I used my sander right here, 60 grit, sanded the top layer, and after I'm done, I will then spray it. If you wanted to use a lighter sandpaper so that it doesn't eat through in areas like that because of too much pressure in one spot too long, then that's probably a good idea. Anyways, so it only took me a couple minutes to get all this done, and now I'm going to spray it. Now the instructions on here say spray, and I'll show you the kind of product. All I'm going to do is I'm going to spray at the top. Sorry about that. Spray at the top, and then work my way down so it doesn't run. If it runs, all I'm doing is wasting it. Now all I need to do is let that wait 5 minutes. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to set my timer for 5 minutes. Okay, here we are. It's been about 5 minutes, and it's a little warm in the house. I don't have the air conditioning on real low, and it's Texas, so it's about 102 degrees outside, so it gets a little dry. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my product, and hopefully it won't be too seen, but I'm just going to lightly recoat it. The reason why I'm recoating it is just make sure it's nice and wet, and now it's just time to peel it off. Now what I'm going to use is my handy dandy little scraper. Now I bought a metal scraper. You can buy a plastic scraper, but I found that by the time I'm done buying 10, 20 different plastic scrapers, I could have bought a metal one, last me a long time. Now this one's been beat up a little bit. It's been through, let's see, 2 different states so far, and I use it for everything. See how easy this is to come off. I had a friend that did this with the other method, with punch the holes. She saw this and she said that this was far easier. Once I get it going, it's just a matter of now, I can actually just start peeling off the majority of it. Ooh, looks like I let it get a little too dry. So, but on the other wall, I was able to take it and I was just peeling it all off. So let's spray it down a little more. And it just peels right off. Now, one of the problem areas is where they mix the border from one piece to another. They usually cut a line. If I go sideways, it rips the hole in the underlayer, or if there's 2 pieces of wallpaper that are bound together right there, see if the line goes all the way down, if one piece here, one piece here. If I go sideways, it'll rip it. So on those areas, I try to go up and down. This is actually harder, and it figures because I'm taping. So, sorry, I was outside for a little bit and not out in the nice warmth. And you can see it just peels right off. And given that I didn't make any mistakes on the with the sander, it leaves the underlayer perfect. What I do after this is I simply wipe it down with a wet cloth, and some people like to use hot water to break down the glue, other than the product that I used. And there you go. That's what gets off the border fairly easy, fairly quickly, and that's paper over paper. I'm going to go show you the area where I did vinyl over vinyl. Well, I'm back, and I'm now in the kitchen, and what I wanted to show you is the wallpaper behind me is vinyl, and it had this vinyl covering over the top. Well, vinyl is a little bit easier than the paper. Notice I didn't sand it. With the vinyl, all you have to do is catch an edge, and you can pull off almost all the top layer, because the goal is to get to the underlayer, the paper area, and that's what any product you use, whether it be water, vinegar, water and fabric softener, just plain hot water, or any other material that you use, the goal is to get to the underlayment without destroying the wallpaper that's behind it. There you go. That's tips and tricks for getting border off. Good luck, and let me know how well your project goes. Thanks. Bye.